So, get this thing rigged up, take it up on top of the back deck, and pull the fish hold hatch off. Lower this down into the fish hold. And then very carefully start working on swinging it into the engine room. My mess of a back deck here, which is the other project that needs to be cleaned up because foam and fiberglass should be starting soon, and we need to have all of this clear in order to start that project. see, when I figured out the dimensions, I kind of forgot to figure out the flange right there. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to push that thing over far enough to get it bolted up. So I think there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna have to cut that hanger loose and move it this way a little bit. The other option I'm kicking around the idea of now is taking that hot water heater out of there and putting it over there, because, well, fresh water pump's right there. There's not really anything going there. That's kind of wide open at the moment. So I'm gonna have to think on this tonight, make a decision tomorrow. It's time to go pick up the kiddo. Okay, well, jumped ahead here a little bit. You can see it's up there and mounted. I did pull the hot water heater out. I haven't decided if I'm going to try to make an adjustment to the mount to get it to work back there, or move it over here in the area, you know, right there, because there's, as of right now, there's nothing really going to be there besides those two sight glasses. So we got to work that out still, but now that the chiller's in there, I can start figuring out what I'm going to do with the exhaust. Well, so I think we've come up with a plan. I'm going to go ahead and run the exhaust from over there across to here, 90 up, which I didn't think you guys were interested in watching me just do more welding. So I've already got this pipe made. It's over length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hook in the wrinkle belly and then hook it up to this 90, which this 90 will go right on top of the engine. This is a wrinkle belly right here. It'll basically be this same thing coming off the engine on that side. So then I can just set the 90 on the engine over there, bring the other end of the pipe over here to where I want it, so it comes out right underneath that muffler. And then I'll go ahead and put a clamp right here, a hanger, to hang the pipe. And then what I think I'm gonna do on the small generator exhaust is we had to, 45 out of this regardless to get over to where we needed to end up. I'm gonna put the 45 in and actually twist it so as it makes its turn across, it actually angles up. And so it's gonna come across and we're gonna go a little bit tighter to this frame than I would like. But the idea is it comes across here, and by the time it gets up into this range where the main engine exhaust is gonna come across here, it will actually be above where the main engine exhaust is gonna go. So then all I gotta do is hold the main engine exhaust down off of this 1.5 inches or so, and I won't actually have to lower the main engine exhaust. And then that little exhaust is gonna come right through, and it'll turn up right here in the middle and go right up between these two generator exhausts. And then that'll leave this whole back section here to run the main engine exhaust up. I hope this works. It's the best, kind of the best that I can come up with. I've kind of went back and forth thinking, what's the best way to go here. I considered breaking this loose, moving these two mufflers to the back, putting the main engine exhaust here in the front. That plan, by doing that, I would have had to bring this generator exhaust over and then almost turn 90 to come around here, which would have covered up all of this area. I just don't see moving those back as the best way to go. So this is what we're gonna do. Hopefully it works out well, and stay tuned and you'll see how it turns out. I can tell you right now that this is not going to be the funnest project by myself. Once I get all of this bolted up, it's gonna be quite difficult to get this up. It's all gonna start getting a little heavy, but it's just what I gotta do. Okay, that'll work right there. We gotta make sure, which we're not even close, where this needs to be. May have to throw a tack on this end so it kind of pivots on that tack. And I want it to be known that I've got the ground on the pipe. So when I put a tack weld up there, it's going to be grounding through this pipe right to the flange. We're not grounding through the motor. both for the people that would make that comment and then those that don't know. You never want to run aground through a motor. Okay. Yeah, there's a button that I don't even know why it exists, but it shuts off the weld terminals on the welder. Okay. Now that ain't gonna move. So now this get pushed over. Okay. Go ahead. Weld. Okay. Now we need to switch the ground back. Because there's a good chance it would have ground up through here, but it also could have ground all the way through the engine, so just don't take the risk. Okay. So now that's got that hold on there. Take this off. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw this come along. Around the pipe right here. Okay, so that's holding that. So now I can take that 90 off, I'll take it out, get it welded solid, then I bring it back, bolt it back to the this wrinkle belly, and then I can figure out how long this needs to be to put the 90 on the end of it. And we'll take this off, cut it to length, and we'll build the piece that drops. We'll build the piece that drops from the muffler down to here. We'll build it outside, cut this to length, bolt the piece up to the muffler, make sure it lines good here, put a few tacks on it, and then take it out again and weld it solid. So that's the plan now. Gasket on there. Some of this with my finger being so tender still, it's a little bit difficult for me. I try to use it and then it hurts. And it's just frustrating. And this is still hot, so. That makes it even better. The T or the pipe is going to come off that exhaust made. Get this bolted up here. Then I can figure out how much needs to cut off of this. We can cut it off. Put the 90 on there, tack it all up. Pull it all out and get it finished welded up. I've got to go measure it, but basically what you do, or what I'm going to do here, is a 90. You know, you can take a measurement on a 90 from right here to right here, and that's a given distance. So what I can do is I can measure straight down here onto our pipe, and then all I have to do is take the measurement of the 90, deduct that off this pipe, cut it off, and that'll be it'll fit right up. So that's what we'll do now. So right there. And it's not a perfect 90, but I'm pretty confident that any gaps that happen will be easily weldable. This is going to be fun because I've got to pull this out, cut it to length, put it back in here, fit the 90, tack it all up, and then take it back out again to finish weld it. Whoopee. I swear, as soon as you turn a camera on, stuff malfunctions. What did have there? It's right there. Okay. Okay. Bolt. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get that tacked in place. A little greedy there, little hole in it. Well, there we are. We've got it ran all the way from the generator all the way across. Got a hanger there, 90 up, and it goes right on up. So I think what we're gonna do once the fittings come, we're gonna come out of this one to somewhere in here, turn 45, and in that 45 we'll turn up. And it'll go right on up to right there, turn, and it'll go straight up. So tomorrow I'll either pull this out and I'll get it welded up, or Bob is gonna be here tomorrow and I might just have him weld this up while I move on to something else.